Can you hear me, guys? Am I audible, come visible?
Yes, yes.
Cool. So, okay. Maybe this is the first time interacting with you guys, or maybe I am already known to you. So, let's keep that aside and let's focus on the main thing. Actually, I would like to know about the experience you have with cloud. I will just drop a poll link. Give it a try. Like, I just want to know the results of how you are like experiencing cloud. Here's a link. Just have a poll, have a vote over your experience. Do it quick, do it quick. I'm waiting. Okay. I will just wait for 1 minute. Cool. Come on, there are 20 people over here and I just got 6 votes. Not a fair share, man. Not a fair share. Not at all a fair share. Okay, I'm getting more. I'm getting more. Fast, fast, fast. We have to shift to the main topic as well. Okay, till then, let me see who are here. Okay, many pretty known faces. Cool, 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 cool. Okay, so let's discuss the stats. Maybe we can just then rush to the topic. Should I share this? Okay, let me just say it aloud. I got nothing vote for 60%, 60% vote for nothing, 30% vote for something, and 10% vote for just a user. Cool. Being a user is not an offense, so no offense. And something is good actually. I really like it if someone is saying that they know something. And for the nothing guys, I'm here for like turn you to something from nothing. So don't be afraid. Your votes will be casted towards something from the next time you are experiencing any of my sessions or any of other speaker sessions regarding cloud. So big congrats to you all. Okay. uh Hi everyone. Yes, hi everyone. Hi everyone. Hi Purbali. Hi Abhirup. Hi Akash. Hi Nilesh. Hi Shomajit. Hi Vaishik. Hi Sanchita. Hi everyone. And like, how's the Josh, guys? I can see the chats. How's the Josh? Real quick. ठंडा? अरे नहीं यार, ठंडा नहीं होना चाहिए. ठीक है, अगर ठंडा होगा भी तो हाई कर दूंगा मैं. कोई चिंता वाली बात नहीं. ओके, कूल. So I think we are good to go. Uh, let me share my screen. Okay. Okay, is it visible?
Yeah,
Okay, fine. So, welcome to the cloud computing workshop featuring me. And like, I'm really excited about this because I think this is the first time I will be delivering a session regarding cloud. So thank you for being present over here, and thanks for like thanks in advance for bearing me for a couple of hours. So without further ado, let's move to the actual stuff. So before talking about cloud, let me introduce to my friend whose name is Dodo. And quite interestingly, He came here from 2.6 million years. Yes, you heard it correct. He came here for this session itself after time traveling from past from 2.6 million years. And guess what? Actually, he wants to convey a story. Now, like, you will be like, how it is even relevant to cloud? Like, a Stone Age boy from 2.6 million years ago is here for like describing a story. And bro, come on, it's fake, totally fake. You are a fake guy. No, I'm not a fake guy. So uh, let's see what he has to offer. So let's hear his story. So actually, he told me the entire story, and I will narrate to you in short. What he's saying is like, um, actually, he's a caveman, okay, and I'm talking about my first person, okay. Like, let's consider that I am Dodo. So this is like, I live with a group in a cave, and I'm a caveman. Now every morning I go for hunting, and remind you that I am the only person to hunt in that entire group. Like, nobody else is know how to hunt. So like, I'm the chief of hunting, you can say. Now one day I just went for hunting, and luckily I got a good prey, like maybe some mammoth or something like that. Okay, so after managing to catch the prey, I was just pulling the prey by maybe holding the tail and dragging it towards my home, and I was very much tired, bro. So what I did is I just kept that prey under a tree, and I was just having some rest under the tree, and got some, like, when, and I was very thirsty at that time. So I just went to the river, and I was just like quenching my thirst, and something wrong happened. Like, in stories, in lifetime, everywhere there's something wrong which just ruins your life, and that's what happened to Dodo. So what happened is, uh, there was suddenly a thunderstorm, okay, and a thunder lightning hit the tree, and the tree was burnt. Now, I think you can imagine what was the condition of the prey, and it was not edible. So you can imagine that what will be going on over him. So he just returned home without anything, just empty handed. And I don't think I should say what words were used over him after that incident, because they all slept like empty stomach. And maybe till now it's just a story, like fascinating, wow. But is it any relevant with cloud? Yep, it is. Like, I would like to tell how. So let me draw some references, okay. I will just connect the dots so that you understand why I am telling this story, or I mean why Dodo is telling this story. And like, come on, just like have an applause for him. Like, he is traveling so long for 2.6 million years, and come on, he deserves a clap. So big applause for him. And okay, so let's connect the dots. So what's happening is, like, when I started with the story, I said that he's the only one who is going for that thing. Like, he's the only one who is going for catching prey, and he's the only dependable guy for whom the entire family or the entire group is having food. Like, if he's not that, then everyone will just starve. So how can we relate to the like cloud story? So what's happening is, like, when I say my food is burned, can you relate this with your daily life? Like, suppose you have photos from 2010. Since 2010 you have a ton of photos, and your disk got corrupted. So like, you have a single disk with every photo, every video, and that got corrupted. And you know what happens when a disk gets corrupted. Like, the data is lost forever, you will not get it. Like, you can just cry over it day night, and you will not get it. So it's done, bro, okay. So like, so what we learned is cloud matters. Like, I bet if you are like, this is what I want to tell. Like, if you are not using Google Photos, Drive, or other services, you don't have photographs back from 2010 or earlier. At least you don't have them all. Maybe you have couple of them, but you don't have them all. The whole backup system is like relying on cloud. It is cloud. So hello everyone, this is Ronit Banerjee, and I'm the CTO and co-founder of ProjectX.cloud. The the startup is itself based on cloud, so maybe this is my domain, you can say. And I won't like it's not a particular thing to be discussed about, but still I think you should know me a bit. So I have been to Ireland, Dublin as a scholar for Open Source Summit Europe 2022. It was at September and it was a terrific experience. Apart from that, I have been a open source contributor at Confidential Computing, Layer 5, Meshery, Fedora OS, and I have been a mentor of international hackathons organized by MLH. For example, University of California, Santa Barbara, Warwick University. Also, I have conducted some events at Allahabad University. So, I have been indulged in the community for since 1.5 years or so. So this is my entire journey for now, in a short, in a brief, in a nutshell, I think you can say. And my basic tech stack is about cloud and DevOps. So without further ado, I think we can just continue with the real thing. So this is the agenda of what we are about to do in this session. Um, okay, let me just see how many of you are here for now. Like till now, have you understood the story and have you related to it with the daily life, and how can you express your feelings regarding this? You can just say it over chat. I'm happy to listen. Hello, hello. Oh, great. Nothing to something. Okay, like it's just the starting, and it's already nothing to something. I'm glad to know that. Cool, that's a good gesture. Got it. So okay, so let me close this. Let's get to the real thing real quick. Okay, so the agenda for today's session will be introduction to cloud computing, advantages and disadvantages of cloud, what are the cloud service providers which are available in the market, and why they are predominant, and why should you choose one. So this will be also discussed. And I will specifically go into AWS stuff, Amazon Web Services, and why will I go into that stuff? Because you will know it in this session itself. So that will be the hands-on of these subdomains, that is security, cloud migration, architecture, design. Like I will go in it with some brief context, so that you can have a brief understanding about what they mean and how they're important to you. I will also share something regarding cloud native. Actually, it's not very much relevant with this cloud thing, but still I want to convey some message regarding that, because maybe it will help you in the long term. So this is exactly something of differentiation. I think I need to take another session for this cloud native and DevOps thing. So still I will touch upon that, and I will also talk about career and certifications, and most importantly exactly what not to do. Because everyone will say कि ये कर लो भाई, वो कर लो भाई, लेकिन कोई नहीं कहेगा कि ये मत करो, ये definitely मत करना है, ठीक है. So I will just touch upon that as well. And for sure we will have a Q&A. And before starting, I would like to say that is, ये communication ना two way होना चाहिए. Okay, I just don't want to एक तरफा वो नहीं होता, ठीक है. Have you heard about the term like half duplex half duplex transmission?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
half,
Yes, sir.
half duplex transmission, yes. So and don't call me sir, okay, I'm just your brother. Okay, so that's half duplex transmission is like one way transmission, and full duplex transmission is a double way transmission, like we call video calling, or this streaming. Okay, like you can also talk, I can also talk. This is full duplex. And suppose you are talking on a walkie talkies, that is half duplex. So leave it. Okay. So let's get to some statistics. And okay, so for now, let's understand how cloud computing came into being. Okay, let me tell you a brief story. That is the first time, like it's actually a debatable topic, but since you are first time, maybe there will be someone who is hearing about cloud computing for the first time. Yet I will touch upon that topic, like regarding the history. Mm, what happened is, in 1960s, it's believed that cloud term cloud computing was first into the being. Okay, but many actually refuses that, and many concludes that it was like in the late 1990s or 2000s. So it's fairly a new topic maybe. And how we can explain this graph, there's a story behind it. I can rather say इसके पीछे एक कहानी है. ठीक है, तो let's go to, go inside this story. What happened is, when cloud computing was just a term. Okay, no one actually knew about cloud computing. What is cloud computing? Like in uh, in our native language, we say it like खाना माथा है. ठीक है, तो cloud computing was that thing. Like people didn't know about it. People were just like, if maybe some researchers or maybe some highly educated, highly ranked people used to know about cloud computing, but not much. It was just the term. Okay, it's a concept of something. Okay, just like that. But it was not very much elaborate. But things changed when actually, in regarding like about this time, it was approximately 2006. At the end of 2006, AWS came up. Okay, Amazon Web Services was established, and it was launched in the public market. Before that, it was testing in their private company itself, but later they just announced it for public release around 2006's end. And followed by that, the graph rose a bit. You can see it already. And about 2008, what happened is, Google is always there competing with everyone. So Google कैसे पीछे हटेगा? And guess what? Google also announced their cloud service called GCP, Google Cloud Platform, and it was launched around 2008. Okay, and like now there's an interesting story. Okay, like after AWS, Google came in. Now after Google came in, I don't think I need to mention about Microsoft, because also they are in the business and they are pretty much good in this business. I will explain how. In 2010, Microsoft Azure was launched. So first AWS, then GCP, then Azure, and there are many cloud services which we will talk about later on. And apart from these three are the main players here in the consumer market, and also in the like most businesses uses these three. And I will get into the market spaces as well, so hold on. So from here the graph steadily rose, and it came to 2010, and it was like a stable graph. Then it goes on and it goes on. Then suddenly what happened? Suddenly lockdown came in. Like work from home concept arised, and the usage of cloud was terribly increasing that time. So after that, it got a little bit of kick, and it rose, and it just got in its prime. So now, if it was level 0, now it's level 100 approximately. Now this index will change with the time, but for now, cloud is just skyrocketing. Okay, so this is the basic story and the history of how cloud computing came into being. And for now, any questions, please? I would love to hear them.
Uh, where from where we can now the
Yes, Swagata.
के बारे में सीख सकते हैं.
Yes, I will come into that. I will come into that. Actually, I have just started now. I am just talking about the brief history of cloud, like how it came into the market. I will just come into those things gradually. Okay, if I jump into that topic directly, then it will not be interesting and it will not be informative as well. So I will also have a hands-on tutorial. So don't worry.
Dada, will you give a short recap because I joined a little late?
Short recap. Cool. Okay. Actually, nothing much. I was talking about the statistics. Okay. Let me just show it to you once again. No issues. Okay. The statistics source is around 2006, Amazon announced AWS. Okay, for public release. So after Amazon in 2008, Google released GCP, that is Google Cloud Platform. Okay, my bad. And around 2010, Microsoft released Microsoft Azure. So you can just see the path of this graph mm, rising up. Okay, with the announcement of each and every product, the cloud market was rising. Like it was a hot topic. Okay, at near about 2010, and it was like consistent in its performance. And during the lockdown, it again got a bump because everything shifted to online mode and work from home. So this is the entire story about how cloud evolved from zero to something. Okay, so Abhiraj, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, thank you. So I think I can continue with the rest of the presentation. By the way, you guys are enjoying it, or I'm just
हाँ
boring?
हाँ दादा.
Yes, enjoy.
हाँ दादा.
Yes, yes, yes.
Enjoying it? Cool, cool. Very good. So, okay. So let's get to the pros and cons of cloud computing. Before knowing cloud computing, let's know, like, I think you got a pretty much idea about what actually cloud is. Okay. Still, I will just go to the pros and cons regarding how cloud is a good choice and how cloud can be tricky at times. So, first, let's talk about the pros. Scalability. Now, we all know that when we are talking about scalability, we will talk about replication of stuff. Maybe I'm deploying one service. Let's suppose uh, WhatsApp, for example. Okay, I'm just pushing WhatsApp into deployment. I'm just it's on production. It's like it has been delivered to the public, and people are using WhatsApp. And WhatsApp suddenly got hype. Like remember recently an app got popular. Have you heard about Slick?
ना
Yeah.
Yes.
दादा सुन.
Yes, yes.
Like, yes, it's popular among college and school students cause like confessions, So uh, actually I also tried it, but it has security issues, so I'll just close the account. Anyways, that's a different story. Scalability, right? So what happened with Slick is when it was first published, it didn't had many views, but it suddenly got hyped and suddenly got popular. The entire server crashed, and their payment gateway was failing. If you have seen that, okay, like if someone was trying to get their premium subscription, they were unable to get so cause their server crashed, and they didn't expect that much traffic. So being a good cloud engineer, you have to keep everything in mind about the scalability part as well. So when we are talking about scalability, we will when this app download is increasing day by day, so the traffic is increasing, and like the basic structure and the basic architecture of cloud says that if the consumption is increasing, then the resources will be allotted more, so that it will like meet the demands of the user, and there will be no downtimes. Okay, so this is the scalability part. And any issues with the scalability part till now? I would love to hear that. If it's there, then I will just reiterate once again, no issues in that. Anyone? Nothing? I never knew I was such a good teacher. Anyways, cool. So let's continue. Okay, someone texted, I guess. All good. Fine. So, okay. Now let's talk about cost saving. Okay, this is pretty much straightforward. Suppose you want to get i7 or i9 grade performance. So maybe you are planning to purchase a i9 11 gen processor. Okay, so you just reach market, you just ask for that processor, and they just keep the box in front of you. And when you ask them, "Bhaiya kitne ka?" then you know what happens. Okay, so like it's very costly. Like the high end processors are very costly, and to combat that, cloud providers are doing is like they are giving their resources, their computing power for rent, so that you can use the same computing power with less money. So this is cost saving in short. Apart from this criteria, we will also see that how scalability is responsible for cost savings. Because when you are allotting a lot of resources, maybe you are allotting 100 I will just take maybe I will just take an example of a Coke can. Okay, maybe there are 100 cans and you have 100 ml of Coke. Okay, so would you just pour one pour into one bottle or one can, or you will just pour that 100 ml to every container? It's not possible, or it maybe it's not feasible enough na. So you will just see if it's one can is enough for pouring 100 ml of Coke. So that's the thing. So you can also cost save your cost like that as well. So scalability helps in cost saving as well. Any doubt regarding cost savings? Anyone? Nothing?
দাদা দাদা আরেকবার একটু বলো ব্যাপারটা কি বললে?
Okay, okay. So cost saving now. Okay, fine. For example, I am going to the market and I am asking for an i7 12 gen processor. Okay, for example, and like you have to pay a pretty much of a money for that performance because it's expensive. Maybe it Intel's, maybe it AMD's. It doesn't matter because both are expensive. So what you will do is you will have the same power, same computing resources with less cost by just renting the CPU cores or GPU cores from the vendors or from the cloud service providers. That's how you will save your money. And maybe you can also, like what I was talking about is scalability is also like related to cost saving, because when you are like focusing on something scalability, you will automatically reduce cost by like configuring your system accordingly. You will not consume enough resources for something which is very much of a short span or for very much short computing power needs. So that's how we can save cost. Is it clear, or I shall reiterate once again? uh, I just don't remember who asked. Swagata, I think.
Yes, yes, yes. It's
It's
clear.
clear now? Cool. Okay, so let's get back. So cost savings done. Accessibility, now it's very much evident that after we have cloud, like everything is accessible. You can access cloud from anywhere. Maybe it's from your phone, your laptop, or from any location itself. You are at Los Angeles, you can access it. You are at Kolkata, you can access it. You are at Delhi, you can access it. Like there's no boundaries for accessing cloud or cloud services. Okay, there's nothing much to explain about accessibility. It's pretty much straightforward. Disaster recovery. Now, that's what I was talking about. Like, actually, it's not me. It's Dodo. Like, you met my friend, na? from 2.6 million years ago. And what he was talking about is उसका खाना जल गया था, ठीक है? तो it was a disaster, right? So how to combat that? If you are backing up your photos at cloud, and actually cloud providers have different backups, so it's not that ki, uh, there's no system error over their servers or their machines. System error happens, their systems also get crashed, but they have such a mechanism that they have everything backed up in separate entities, so that they will recover every file of yours and nothing will be lost. And that's why they like ask for payment or ask for money. It's not for free, of course. So you get the service of what you ask for. Okay, so that's disaster recovery. Collaboration, now it's a very good topic. Like, this is a collaborative meeting. If it was not collaboration, it was there was no cloud, there were no cloud, then how could I even talk to you guys? And how, like, my voice is reaching maybe how many? Right now my voice is reaching 40 students, like 40 students or 40 working professionals, so approximately. So 35, let's say. So this is cloud. Okay. Like, if cloud weren't there, then this collaboration was not possible, because this is how collaborative cloud can be. These are the main features of cloud, you can say. And these are the pros. And let's talk about the cons as well. Like, there are few issues with cloud as well, but we are combating it to some extent. I would really go into details of it. For example, security. Now everything, like, maybe you can challenge me on this point. That is, suppose I will just keep my photos, my documents, my personal belongings just in just my pen drive, and I will just place the pen drive in a secure vault, maybe in some bank, maybe in under my bedsheet, wherever you can. Okay, so, like, it's secure now, nobody knows that you have a pen drive. In fact, nobody knows that there's a data hidden in your pen drive, nobody knows, then it's more secure. But when I am placing some data over cloud, then who knows who, and like, someone will see my data, or the cloud provider itself will access that data. But that doesn't happen actually, because the cloud providers actually have everything encrypted, and they in fact can't access your data. Okay, apart from few cases where data breaches happen. So that's why security is a concern. Till date we are not secure. Okay, like, anyways we are vulnerable. So maybe we are reaching some steps, we are covering some uh, edge cases, but we are not at all 100% secure. Now maybe blockchain can help us with that, but that's a different story. Cool. That's the security part on how at times it can be vulnerable. But still, cloud engineers, researchers, in fact cybersecurity departments are working day in day out to combat this issue, and they are pretty much successful in doing this, because nowadays cloud is pretty much secured. Yet I would not guarantee that you will not like, have data breaches. Yet you can just combat it anyways. So let's talk about reliability now. If I say ki, bhaiya, I'm at a jungle, maybe at Tanzania, and I have no internet connection, how can I reach to cloud? That's a valid point. So if you don't have internet connection, then you can't access cloud. This is pretty much straightforward, and this is one of the cons which actually can't be eliminated, because without internet, cloud is unreachable. Okay. uh, I will not say that if you are, like, standing at the edge of Himalayas and you can just touch cloud, that's a different thing. But like, this cloud can't be reached without internet. So let's talk about the third point, that is limited control. Now, when I'm talking about maybe a photograph, okay, For example, you have a photograph on drive and you want to change some colors, some you want to tweak something in that photograph. Maybe you want to add a logo or a watermark in that photograph. You are a photographer and you want to add your own watermark to save your copyright maybe. So you can't do that over cloud directly, or maybe if you can, it's a tricky process. So this is an example of how limited controls a cloud can have. Yet cloud engineers are working on it, and we are like getting better at this, because we can see things like Google Docs where we are like directly editing stuffs. We can see Canva where we can directly edit stuffs. Like we are evolving. Like cloud is not really matured. Okay, maybe it's at the amateur stage of its life cycle, and it has many miles to go so that it can be the best matured product of computer science. Okay, so let's talk about dependency. Now, there's a valid point, that is, suppose I'm talking about AWS, I'm talking about GCP, I'm talking about Azure. Uh, if these services itself goes down, like for some reason, like maybe AWS goes down for an hour, like the services depending on AWS will also suffer, na? So this is something which is actually undeniable, and this happens. Okay, but the chaos engineering team are really like working hard to combat this issue, and maybe there are still issues with the chaos engineering part. Maybe there are power cuts, maybe there are suppose there are security breaches which I was talking about, so they need to fix those stuffs and get back to the like connection. So regarding like during those things, this dependency issue can happen, but it's not very much frequent, because like a few months back, you can remember every Facebook services went down, and I think in 2021 or 22, Google services also went down. Every Google service in the entire globe, like Google search engine was working, I guess, but the login page was not working. YouTube was down, everything was down. So this happens at times. Okay, like irrespective of how big a company is, गलती से गलती तो किसी के साथ भी हो सकता है ना, तो let's not blame them. Okay, and compatibility. Okay, so when we are talking about legacy issues, like if we have a machine or we have a software which is not compatible for integrating with cloud, so that's something we can't do about. Okay, uh, maybe what we can do is we can just configure it separately so that we can use it in the cloud services. Maybe we can containerize it, maybe we can do else stuffs. So there's another learning curve which you should keep in mind, and maybe we can like we should have hired another separate engineer so that they can uh, migrate that particular software to a compatible one so that they can work with cloud. Like for example, maybe there were games which could be played offline. Now these things are changing, we are getting shifted to online games. So now these offline games are getting update so that you can play together. You remember Subway Surfer? At first it was just an offline game. You just run over the trains, you just topple off, you just start a game. But now what happens is you can collaborate with your Facebook friends, you can have like point clash, you can compete with them, like they have leaderboards and stuff. It came later on, yet it's very much old now, but still it came later. So that's how cloud and internet like invaded this criteria of compatibility, and it's getting fixed day by day. So these are the cons of cloud, which are actually getting better. Maybe after a decade or so, these cons will be reduced to one or two. So till now, any confusion, anything? I would love to hear any questions regarding this.
Till now.
Anything? Everything clear? Okay, let me have some water. Okay, so uh, okay, thank you. This inspires me. Cool. So let's get back to the next slide. Now let's talk about the cloud providers itself. According to Statista, this Amazon thing is leading the entire cloud space. Like you can see clearly, it's saying 34% of the market is being conquered by AWS, and surprisingly, the second is Azure. And I think you remember that I said after AWS, Google came in, and then after 2 years Azure came in. Still, Azure made sure that they have competed with Google and AWS and reached the second spot. So kudos to their team and their marketing strategies and their service as well, because Google is a huge thing and Microsoft is also a huge thing, but still they started late, but they reached their second spot. And there are some other cloud providers as well, like Alibaba Cloud, IBM Cloud, Salesforce, Tencent. I think it's Oracle. Yes, it's Oracle. The text got faded a bit. Sorry for that. And like this is the statistics of what the cloud market is in the Q2 of 2022. This is the most updated list I got from Statista, and remind you, Statista is one of the best sites to get statistics from. So shout out to them. You can check out yourself, in fact. So let's go to the next slide. With that being said, तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं. What? AWS का unboxing. So welcome to the hands-on tutorial of how we can use AWS and its basic features, and I will also cover some security part with IAM and two-factor authentication and stuff. So let's jump into aws.amazon.cloud. And maybe you guys don't have an AWS account previously, because okay, another thing that is, I have chosen AWS because it's been used in the market for more than, like like you can see the figure itself. Okay, so I don't need to say anything. That's why I have chosen AWS, and AWS is pretty much intuitive and it has the most features, and the rich dashboard will just take you off. Okay, so let's start with this hands-on. I will just go into this website. This is the website for the AWS. Okay, and I will just also show you the GCP, like Google Cloud Platform, and Azure as well. Okay, so this is the Google Cloud. I will show everything. This is the Azure. I don't have an account of Azure, so sorry for that. Actually, what I use is a security key. This is also very much a good practice to have a security key with you. Like this is the security key. Okay, a Type C port security key. You just insert it, and you will be automatically authenticated for accessing your account. So I'm just putting it here. Cool. In great. So welcome to AWS, and this is the console page of how this thing looks. Just forget about these numbers, cause my account is actually like collaborated with uh, AWS Activate program for startups, so I don't get charged. These are just figures which they show, but I just use them for free. Anyways, so that's a different story, different perks. So if you are planning to use AWS for your startup, then you should definitely have a try with this Activate program, I would suggest. Cool. So this is the dashboard, and it will look terrifying at first, but still I will go to the basic tools hand in hand. First, let me just have a look at IAM user. Okay, so okay, let it load. So this is the IAM user dashboard. So what an IAM user is, suppose you have a root access account, like I just logged in with my root account. What you can do is you can have an account, and you are the team lead, and you have some employees under you or some team members who want to share your resources. So you can just create some users for them, and they will have a separate ID password, and they can use your resources. And you can also set permissions separately for them to use, because otherwise if you don't set limitations, maybe they will be inexperienced, or maybe they will do it intentionally to drain out all your resources, and your money will go into vain. So I don't want that to happen with you. So let's go to the users section. This is a user which I have created previously. uh, so last activity 12 days ago. So first of all, this is a user which is like authorized to my machine. Actually, I have uh, logged in with the AWS CLI with this IAM user itself. So after, like, if you have to create an IAM user, you just go to users, and there's an add user option, and you can just create one. And while creating one, you will have like the credentials. Okay, and you will be assigned with like access key token, and that will be shown to you just once in the lifetime. And if you close that window, it's gone forever, and you need to, and if you just forgot your thing, then you should have, like, you should get your security credentials again. Like, you have to go to access key, and you need to, like, again have your credentials. So you need to take a look upon this thing, so that you can just copy this access keys and all, and put it on your system. Okay, I will just show you one thing, that is, after you are logged in with your AWS CLI, you can use this command, AWS STS get caller identity. This shows you if you are properly logged in with your device. And let's check. Cool, see, you can see my user ID, you can see my account, you can see my ARN. That is the user which I'm using, right? You can see this. Is this the same? Yeah, this is the same one. Okay, so you can check using this command key if you have successfully logged in or not. So this is the first thing about IAM and how you can add permissions. So suppose I want to give everything to that fellow. Maybe I am assigning some lead engineer of my team, and I want everything in his hands. So what I will do is I will just give him administrator access. That does the job. Like, if someone has an administrator access, he can do everything. Okay, if I have the administrator access, I can just add my own permissions, do anything I want. Okay, so before giving administrator access to someone, please make sure that you trust that guy. Otherwise, he or she will ruin your resources. Cool. And apart from this, there are some particular tools access, full access, that can be introduced. These are the access which I took for a specific project. That's why they are added over here. But actually, this works fine. It will give all the access, so you don't need to worry about those stuff. So this is primarily the IAM user stuff. Anyone confused with this IAM thing? Please let me know. Chats are open. Okay, Abhiraj, I got to the point then. Actually, what happens is, like, when you log into AWS, you need to have, you will get a free access to the account, and they will give some free credit points of around $100, I guess. Sorry, they will give some free credits of $100 for each account, and they will ask for your credit card. Okay, but they will not charge you, because they will have your $100 credit, and if you surpass that, then they will charge you. So please make sure that you have your, like, email IDs open and keep track of that data if it's going beyond $100, because that will cause a trouble for you. Because I have experienced this myself with another cloud service provider called Linode, and I ran out of their free tire, and I got charged about maybe 2,500 rupees. Okay, so uh, that was something which I regret till now. But still, yes, after we make mistakes, we learn. So I learned, and I also want you guys to learn. Uh, Actually, but I can't do anything about that. It happened. So, but make sure that you have your free tier in the boundaries, and you just keep a track of it, so that you just don't end up consuming more resource than what you get. Okay, so after this, I think I'm pretty much done with this IAM thing. Like, this is a important part for the security portion of cloud, and I have also covered that two-factor authentication thing. So this will give a good idea about what these things are. So let's get to the EC2 part. I think EC2 and S3 are one of the most popular tools which you will hear about. So I will also want to touch upon one thing, that is S3 was probably the first tool ever invented by AWS, which was launched at 2006. So before that, we will just have a look at EC2. Okay, one instance is running over here. Cool. So let it run. I will create an instance in front of you guys as well, so that you get a basic understanding of how it works. And let's start an instance, launch instance. I will just name it with maybe Cloud Workshop. Let me have Ubuntu over here. Ubuntu 2.22.04. Free tier eligible. Very nice. Architecture, let it be x86. T2 micro. No, I will just get a better one. Or no, or maybe I will be just fine with this, because it's just a demo. And key pair, actually this key pair is required for login with uh, a different device or your own system from the CLI you have, like from the terminal you have on your own device. So if you are interested in accessing it from here, then you need a key pair. And if you just wanna have it directly on the browser, then you can just continue without a key pair. But I think you should continue with a key pair, because that's recommended actually. So I don't need it for now, not recommended, but still I will not proceed with any key pair. But make sure you have one. Okay, it's just for the demonstration purpose. Create security group, yes. Allow traffic from anywhere, and I will just give an 8 GB of storage. This is a storage thing. You can keep it as high as you want, but make sure you don't end up charging yourself. So this is the thing. Let's start this instance. Okay, we have our first instance on AWS, and here it is. State is pending. It will take some time. So congratulations, we have made our first EC2 instance on AWS. Let's celebrate. Yay, let's celebrate. Where's the excitement, guys? Great. Yay. I like it, Abhiraj. Yay. Cool. Okay. Meanwhile, it's running. Now, how to connect with this? I will just connect with this directly through the browser. And if you want your SSH client to get it, so you will just need to have the key pair, and you have to get this ID RSA done for the credential part. So I will just not get into the complex one, because I think you will be the better one to explore it by yourself. So I will just go to this link. I think someone had the text. Nope. Okay, fine. See, so here we are in an Ubuntu instance, and it's pretty much running very fine. In working directory, we can just make a file kdir on it. Ls, I can see my file. I can go into that file. I can create a text file, text.txt. I can go to that text file itself. I can just write whatever I want. Hello, resource your community. Oh, by the way, huge shout out to resource your community for organizing this. Thank you for having me, and thanks to everyone who are here. So I really hope that you are getting something from this, and you will end up having zero to something. So let's save this file. Uh, colon wq. Now I will just have ls. See, I have everything up and running in this like instance. It's just some sample commands, so that you can understand that it's not stagnant, it's up and running. And this instance is actually using resource from somewhere that is in Frankfurt. Actually, we are using this Frankfurt zone. This computer is in Frankfurt right now. So you can actually change your zones according to your own wish. um, the best zone can be Mumbai, because you will have less latency, but still you can use pretty much every location you want. So this is the basic stuff about EC2, and how to spin an EC2 instance, and how and why this is important to you. So I can also show you how to delete this. This is very much simple. You can just terminate this directly. It's terminated, shutting down, and it will be gone. Okay, so this is very much easy, very much easy. Maybe you will be thinking that, oh, that's very much complex. Now, that's not complex, it's very much easy. Cool. Oh, how to exit Vim. Now you will just click on escape. I will just write it for you. Escape plus. When you click on escape, you will be like brought down to that like at the very much bottom of that window, and you will just type in colon wq. W is for saving and Q is for quit. Okay. If you just write Q, then it will just quit without saving. So this is the format of your command. Okay. So this is how you quit. And okay. Oh, cool, cool. No issues. No issues. Got it. Pun intended. So I think it's gone. Yes, see, it's gone. And this is an instance which is running for a task. I don't know what, I actually don't remember why I spun this instance. So let it run. And one thing I should make clear, that is, never leave your instance running for more than some few hours, because maybe it can happen. Actually, I think I also have forgot to like stop this instance, because I don't know why this is running. I need to check it after this session anyways. So don't leave your sessions to be like running, because you never know when and how your entire resource will be consumed. So you know what happened to me. So I will not recommend you doing that. Anyways, so this was IAM, this was AC2, and now let's jump into S3. That is also very much popular tool for storage. Okay, I will just show you one S3 bucket and how these are there. Okay, for example, this is one of the buckets which I have created several months ago. It's June 2022. Okay, so S3 is that thing from where you get your resources. I think many of us from here are from Macaut. So this Macaut site actually runs over AWS. I actually figured it out. How you know? Uh, when there were online examinations going on, I was downloading the I was going inside that portal while I was downloading the results, and I was brought to some random AWS S3 link. So then I figured out that. Macaut uses AWS itself, so good for them. And they were using S3 to store those results so that you can download them and have your copy. So that's how S3 works actually. And I will just show you how this S3 is storing this particular HTML file as well. You can't access this HTML file directly over here, but I think you can just use this thing to access it. Okay, this is the site which I created few months back. This was a resume site, not updated yet. So this was created using this S3 bucket. So I think you got the basic idea why S3 is important, how to use this. Any questions regarding this? Everything fine? Oh, I can see some population decline over here. No issues. I will just continue. Maybe it's a bit problematic for them, or maybe I'm boring. Am I boring? Don't pretend, bro. Come on. I want real answers. Okay, okay, okay. Yes, I'm meant to be energetic. So this was S3, and should I touch upon some ECR, EKS? I think I shouldn't, cause those are a bit of complex topics. I would not. Okay, so maybe this is the basic few tools I think you should get started with for AWS to get a bit of to get your hands dirty. Okay, so and these are my costs for, maybe if you are asking how much these costs actually, if you just convert it, just monthly cost, this current month cost, actually this is just mid of March and I am already USD to INR. Okay, I just don't want to see that again. It's 3000 plus. Let it be how it is. Forecasted 83. Okay, I'm pretty much good with my free resources. Okay, so this is my AWS stuff from here, and let's get back to the presentation once again. I have done the AWS unboxing pretty much in a short manner, and I will just continue with some experiment. Now, experiment time, guys. Okay, drum rolls. Now, what happens is I have placed some links for you. I will share this presentation with you guys, so don't worry, don't have to take any screenshot or just stumble upon right now. But you can obviously. So, this is something very much nice to have. This is created by someone I don't know, but it's a very nice tool to have and nice resource to see how AWS was created and how it gradually went on with their uh, tool sets. I think this is it. Yeah. So as I said, S3 was the first produced tool by AWS, and it was launched in 2006. Okay, and then SQS, SimpleDB, EBS, then EC2, one of the major tools of AWS, was born in 2006, and it was actually released at 2008. So it was the time when Google announced GCP. So you can imagine the competition between those players. Okay, so you can just have a look in this entire list of how and when they born and what is used for what. Actually, you have the categories section as well, so you can just individually search them all. You can just click on those and you can have your documentations clear, and they are actually linked with the documentation, so you can just have a look on them. uh, like what are the functions of it and why it is used and why it is important to you and when it was launched and why it was launched. So a good resource for you to get started with, maybe. And it's very much updated, it's updated till 2021. It's a good set of resource. So have a look into this. And another thing is, actually this tool was developed by me. It was one of my projects which I mentioned on my resume, that is late cloud. I would definitely recommend you to check this as well. That is, it will help you to get the ping or the latency of the servers placed in different regions. I was talking about Frankfurt, for example. Frankfurt is pretty much away from us. The nearest server which you will get is Mumbai. Okay, so definitely it will have a less ping, and the greater extent you get, the greater the ping will be. So this is how AWS choose, like this tool chooses the best server for you. And not only for AWS, it has support for DigitalOcean, IBM Cloud, Linode. So you can have a try on this as well. Let's do it real quick. It's very much simple, it's just one click. Okay, you are getting a good ping for Bahrain, so you can use this server as well. You can use the Mumbai server because it's the least latent one. And Singapore is also doing pretty well. Okay, so don't go over something with which has ping over 200. You can rather choose Mumbai, you can choose Bahrain, you can choose maybe Singapore as well. So this is the thing, and you also have support for DigitalOcean. Like you have Toronto, Bangalore to be the safest one, Singapore as well. So these are the statistics you can get real time. Uh, you can look at this. And last but not the least, the AWS documentation. This is very much recommended for peeps who are just getting started with AWS. Maybe for the first time it will be intimidating, but I would definitely recommend you guys to have a look in this, because you will have everything over here. There is no better resource of AWS than its own official documentation. So have a look into it. And this is having entire list of its tools and why and how and everything. So it's pretty much extensive, so it's not like you have to go through everything, but you can have a pretty much good observation of every tool which you want to use in your production or as a daily driver, as an engineer, or maybe someday as a user also you can get an idea. Oh, like I told you, like when I was using that Macau site and it was showing that S3 links, and then I can like relate. Oh, then it's an S3 bucket where I am getting this information from. So this is the thing, you can relate to your daily life as well. So this is these are the links which are recommended for you to have a look into. And let's go to the next slide then. Okay, for now, any doubts, any confusion, anything? I would just love to hear from you guys.
We understood everything, but the thing is, how to actually use the AWS for cloud computing here.
So actually what's happening is, okay, Abhiraj, it's a good point. See, when you are talking about computing, okay, like the EC2 is the go-to standard, okay. And I actually recommend you to go with the EC2 documentation because it's meant for the cloud computing part. I just like showed you how to spin an EC2 instance and how to just do the stuff. Okay, so the basic cloud computing thing starts with EC2. The computing part is done solely by EC2, and it has its own variations like EKS and stuffs like that, which helps in automating stuffs. So that's a different story, and these are the tools which are a bit advanced, and you will get to those after you get a basic understanding of these basic tools. So computing is easy with cloud, and after you get your hands dirty you will understand how it's all working. But for the initial introduction, I would just recommend you to get started with EC2, S3, uh, maybe some of CloudFront, and IAM for sure.
Okay.
Cool. So okay, let's get to the next part, that is application of cloud. So when we are talking about application, there are three specific modules, like you can also call it models of cloud. Like when we call it as a system as a service, like have you heard about this term SaaS? We use this term all the time, like it's a SaaS product. Okay, so SaaS products are basically things like Gmail, Office 365, Canva, which you use as an end user. You just like give input and you get output. Maybe you are designing a stuff, like I made this presentation in Canva. So I just gave instructions, like I want to place this image, I want to do this, I want to do that, and it gave me the result in a form of a presentation. So this is a system as a service. When I'm talking about platform as a service, I'm talking about something like which is used by software developers. You can if you are talking about Heroku, okay, for example, here Heroku is one of the examples. Platform as a service is like when, suppose you have an application, and you want to deploy it for temporary purpose from your own machine, it will be hosted. So what you do is you just uh, connect a link, a domain which is randomly chosen by Heroku, and it's been deployed over the globe uh, temporarily. So this is some cases where software developers need PaaS. It's not very much popular, but it's used by developers itself. So it's a niche category in itself. And we come to the most important part, that is infrastructure as a service. That is Azure, AWS, GCP, VMware, and stuffs like that where we are working. Like actually the main stuff goes on with the infrastructure as service, then everything goes on top of it like layers. Like if there's no infrastructure, there is no platform, and if there's no platform, there is no system. So this is why it's shown in a pyramid like structure. Hope this is clear to all of you. Should I continue with the next slide? Okay, bro. So mm, present. Okay. So I don't know why this got a bit shady. Let me just refresh this portion. mm, okay, now it's clear, I think. Yep. So the learning curve. I don't actually recommend anyone to follow a single path. I like there's no success mantra for something to learn. Okay. There are some categories which you should learn, and there's no particular process of learning about cloud computing yet. I stumbled upon many resources, but I really found this useful, and maybe this is the most likely taken path. And this was one of the paths which actually I took, but not exactly the same way. So I will just reiterate on it. When you are talking about cloud, first you should have a basic understanding of Linux. Maybe I'm talking about the CLI, maybe I'm talking about the Vim, and the basic stuffs like just the basic commands about Linux, and using Linux distros as well, and have a clear idea about what Debian is, how Ubuntu works, how Debian is like similar or different from Arch. So these are the things you should have a clear understanding of, and then we can move into some scripting or programming. Mainly in cloud and infrastructure as a service, we use programming languages like Python. We use programming languages like Golang. Okay, Go is a different language. Maybe there will be peeps over here who will be learning about this for the first time. Go is also a language which is dominantly used in the server side apart from Python. So if you are learning Go, then it's good for you if you are going into this cloud thing, because Go will help you a lot with this. And Python is also acceptable by the companies, and it depends on the workforce which programming language they are using for those function creation. So depends on the team actually and the company, or actually on you as well, because if you are leading a team, then it's upon you what will you use. So depends. Okay, so after that what you will do is you will have a clear understanding of database like SQL, NoSQL, or something like proprietary database tools like AWS DynamoDB. Okay, so DynamoDB is something of a tool of AWS for their database itself, so you can also check out on that. Now comes to the cloud platform, that is AWS or GCP or Azure or IBM Cloud or anything in this planet. Okay, so make a choice of what cloud provider you should choose. Okay, like there's no compulsion of choosing AWS, and by the way, I'm not getting paid for promoting AWS, so it's not like it's like I'm talking about AWS and repeatedly, so it's like AWS is the best. There's nothing like that, but I like AWS, and I recommend you using AWS because you will have more opportunity in the career side, because AWS developers are very much valued, and you will get more opportunities regarding those things. So Azure is also a good choice, but I have a skeptical opinion regarding GCP, so I wouldn't say much about that. But GCP is also good. There's nothing like GCP is bad and AWS is good. There's nothing like that. Okay, so then what we will go on into is cloud automation tools. I was talking about EKS, for example. These are required for automation, for scaling, for disaster management, for tools like them. Okay, so those are a bit of advanced tools which you will learn in the course of learning about cloud. So I didn't touch upon those because it will not be a beginner friendly session anymore. So maybe it's some other day I will just discuss upon it. And then what we will go into is container management tools like Docker, again Kubernetes also plays a good role in it. And we have ECR, like that is Elastic Container Registry, to store those containers. And the microservice tools and stuffs are very much essential for cloud engineers to learn about. Okay, so after this entire process, you are now a cloud engineer, I would say. But yes, nobody is a cloud engineer, because cloud engineer this term is very much like, you never know about cloud, like everything about cloud, because cloud is evolving. And you have seen the list of these tools, and maybe I just know 10 to 15% of this list. I will be very honest with you guys. Okay, I'm not uh, an expert in everything. So this is the story about the tools, or the roadmap, or how you will get to your path. Now, okay, so maybe you will have some doubts regarding this learning curve, or something that like the roadmap. So if you have any, then just shoot it towards me. I will be happy to answer them. Any questions regarding that portion, regarding the roadmap? Nothing. Okay, no issues. So hopefully it's pretty much clear to you guys. Then I can continue to my next slide. That is certifications. Maybe many were waiting for this, because many people actually are wrong about this concept of certificate. And I would like to draw your attention over here. Be very careful about it. So certifications are great, but there's a big but. That is, only go for certifications that are issued after you pass an online assessment, and strictly they are being issued by some good organizations like Red Hat, AWS, GC, like Google, Microsoft, CNCF, Linux Foundation. Like, these certificate will earn you some credentials, so that you can use them, you can add them to your resume. It will really create a difference among the other applications. Like, your application will definitely stand out if you have any of the certifications under these uh, organizations. And keep this in mind, that the certifications that are provided by Coursera after you complete a course will not help. Those are not something which will prove your credibility regarding cloud's knowledge, because after you finish that course, maybe there will be some small assessment, but that's not very much extensive, and that's not very much uh, acceptable for a company to believe or trust you to be the cloud expert which they are looking for. So I would definitely like to have a look into these particular links. For example, if you are going for a AWS certification, you can just schedule an exam, and you can have your uh, certificate of labeled like cloud expert, AWS cloud expert. And that is really valued in the market. That really proves that you are really an expert in cloud, in AWS, because these exams are not really easy to crack. Because if you have a really good knowledge, and you have a practical knowledge of how to use this, and how to tackle issues when you are getting into some problem, then only you can clear that exam. And it needs time to prepare. So before registering, and it takes like it's expensive. Okay, these exams may be costing you around $200 to $300, but it's worth it, because if you are earning this certificate, it's really worth it. So I would definitely recommend these type of certifications. And apart from that, I will also say that is, first prepare yourself properly, then only go for this registration, because many a times people just overlook their own preparation, and they just sit for the exam and they end up losing up the money. So don't do it like that. First learn the stuff properly. Actually, maybe I would say that I will be not able to, like, I will not be able to pass these exams with full confidence, because I also have to learn a lot of stuff to get this type of credibility. So maybe someday it will be there in my resume as well. Hopefully that happens. So next thing I would like to draw an attention your attention is a sample CV of a cloud engineer. Okay, this glitched out again. Just let me refresh. Actually, I am not authorized to share this. Still, I have just uh, covered the name, and I'm just showing the experience this guy had. This is actually an official, like, it's a real CV of a cloud engineer or a DevOps engineer, you can say. Okay. Uh, so see what he has in his cart. He has AWS SysOps administrator. He has HashiCorp Terraform associate Kubernetes. He is called CCAD and CK. Red Hat, Rancher. It, like, they he has some great certifications, and he has earned it from his own credibility. Like, these exams are really hard to crack. If you, like, are really serious about cloud engineering or something inclined towards cloud native, then I would really recommend you to have a good grip of these concepts, then go for the examination and get your thing in the resume or your CV, so that it looks good and your profile stands out. I think it's pretty much it from my side. Maybe I am okay to take few questions from your side, and these are my socials where you can just have a look. I'm on LinkedIn, GitHub, Twitter, and this is my Hashnode page where I keep on writing blogs. Maybe I am uh, lazy enough so that I haven't wrote since few months, but I will continue, I promise. So you can have a look in these links. I will share. Okay, let me share my links over here so that you just get it instantly. Cause maybe you will face some delay of getting the presentation. So I will just copy and paste it real quick. I think the links are getting uh, like not getting recognized by the. I think this will help. Okay, this helps. What's left? Twitter. Cool. And please, let's start with the Q&A, and you can have your questions. I'm ready for them to answer. Feel free to ask me anything regarding cloud, anything regarding careers, anything regarding, like, the stuff I was talking about. Yes, the slides will be shared by the community team, and do let me know with the questions you have. Just open with the chat. You can just have your question over chat. You can have your questions over microphone. And if you don't have any questions, then I will just consider that I have explained you everything. And I don't think I have explained you everything. So let's be interactive. Come on, why not? No questions? Abhiraj was trying to say something, but he resisted himself. Maybe I will eat him up alive.
No, no, no.
Will
I
I?
just wanted to, I just wanted to say that maybe what would be a better option, a software developer engineer or a cloud engineer?
Actually, both are needed in this world of engineering. So I don't see it like that. If there's no software developer, then like what's the point of having a cloud? And if there's a software like residing in your system, then if there's no cloud, then what's the point of having that software? So actually we both are interdependent. I We need software developers, we need cloud engineers as well. So there's no option of choosing one. You have to go with both, like not individually, but there will be someone to code a software for you, and there will be someone to manage this and get it into production over cloud. So both are essential. There's no choosing, no point of choosing. Maybe. How many of you think that I was really much good with this explanation that no one has any doubt? I am really shocked to see this type of response. Hands up, guys, if you really think that.
Dada, actually, I was late joining this session. So, can you please sum up what you have told earlier, so that uh, if you have no problem.
I definitely have no issues with that. I'm here to explain you these things, so I will. Definitely, I will. Let's go from the very first. Okay, let's skip the story part. Let's go to the agenda. Okay, so who was this? I forgot. Shoham, right? Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
Shoham, actually, what we discussed is we talked about what cloud computing is. We had a basic understanding of why cloud is important, what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages of cloud. We talked about what are the cloud service providers in the market and why should we choose one of them. Then I took AWS as my prime uh, weapon of cloud, and I just went through the entire console, the dashboard, and chose few basic tools to be like explained, like how to uh, navigate around those tools and how to use them. And then I was also talking about the IAM features, the two-factor authentication features for security, and I was also talking about something related to cloud native, which are related to Kubernetes a bit. Actually, I didn't use the term Kubernetes called because it's definitely a different topic, and it will definitely deviate from what we are actually talking about. So I also discussed very shortly about some tools which are required to automate few things in the like infrastructure as a service. Apart from that, I also discussed about career opportunities and what certification should we do. Okay, I would just add up a point I just forgot to mention. That is, while preparing for those exams, I would definitely recommend you to go through the courses of Coursera. Like you can just audit those Coursera courses for free, you know, and you don't need the certificate for Coursera. Okay, you just have a look into the course materials. They are really good because it's been uploaded officially by AWS or Google, by Amazon, or Red Hat. Red Hat actually doesn't post any course on Coursera. Maybe it's from Microsoft. So IBM also posts some courses about cloud stuff. So I would definitely recommend to check out on those resources which talk about cloud, and those are made by really cool professionals, and really like they are the cloud experts of individual companies. So I would definitely recommend those to learn about this stuff. And but I will definitely not recommend that particular certificate to be pasted on your resume, cause that adds no value to that. Better learn from them and get your certification from here. So this is the main funda. And I also talked about, apart from that, I think it was pretty much the it was pretty much it that was pretty much it what I talked about. Yeah. Soham, I think Soham, it was you, right?
Yes.
Yes. So basically, this was the total summarization of what I had talked about till now. And now, what I would recommend is, if you are like looking to have a have an extensive way of learning, then you can watch this entire thing on YouTube after it gets live over there. Okay, so that you can have a clear understanding. Apart from that, it's basically it. That's basically it. Uh, Thank you, Abhiraj. I am really obliged that you like the session. And actually, I would love to know your feedback upon it, so that I will work upon myself and get better in delivering a talk or in delivering my presentation. Anything, you can just openly criticize on me. There's nothing to be worried about. I will not eat you alive, as I said to maybe Arnab or Abhiraj, I guess. Yes, I I will not eat you alive. So you can just have your concerns regarding me, regarding this presentation, regarding my way of conveying the message, so that I can improve on myself. Thank you, Aishik. Thank you. Then I think this is pretty much done. And thank you everyone to join and be with me till the last. I was not expecting anyone to be with me till the last, cause I am very much bad at speaking. Maybe I consider myself to be bad at speaking anyways. So thanks for sticking up till the end. And let's meet and let's catch up in some other presentation regarding DevOps, maybe regarding some advanced tools in cloud, so that we can collaborate again. Thanks for joining in, and this was Ronit Banerjee for you, signing off. Thank you.